Today was a day indeed. I just want to go over the notes real quick. There wasn't really many I don't really want to go over too many of my notes. Overall, I just thought it was a good lecture on mindset and expectations going forward for me, and I just wrote down like some good expectations to have. Just not having too high of expectations on yourself, because I feel like that's what a lot of traders do. I do that for sure. I try to put all these high expectations, like, yo, I'm going to go in here and then I'm going to extract. I'm trying to try to get 80 points or 100 points today, but just having those low threshold targets as well as entries. And there's something else I want to go over that I thought was nice. I don't expect myself to be precise, but I'm always aiming and growing towards that. And yeah, I just thought it was good. It was a good psychology lecture, as well as kind of like bad conditions to trade in. So let's just hop right into the charts. I would definitely recommend watching the mentorship video from today. So as you see, we have 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. here. I do wanna hop into replay mode, just because I like seeing that new day opening gap yellow. One sec. So my current new day opening gap, I use this indicator by Kryptonite. Here are my settings for this. This is what I use for the settings. If you're using the 1 minute chart, it won't show you like every new day opening gap. You have to go to the 5 minute chart to see more new day opening gaps. So, but it will show you all the most important ones. So right here we have the new day opening gap right here. Current new day opening gap in yellow. Asia, we didn't really do anything significant, but I am gonna just hop over to Asia. We initially take this buy side here, then we come back down to the low end of this fair value gap. I didn't look at ES during Asia time at all, so maybe ES might have. Let's just look at it right now. Did ES come back down and take that low? If it did, that would be nice to see. In Asia, no. It did reprice to the lower end of that fair value, that new day opening gap. So there's nothing really important in Asia, nothing really in London. But if we just look at this, like, we just have straight repricing up right here. We generate this buy side, then we have a sell program below true day open. We get manipulation below true day open, and now right here around 7 a.m. right at this new day opening gap, we form a breaker. We use this as support here. We find support right there, and then we enter a buy program right here. We have this inefficiency as well as this mitigation that gets respected, and kind of just fast repricing. And then 8:30 news right here. We actually do have SMT with ES here. I'm pretty sure. I want to double check because I didn't really look at it, but I remember seeing ES take that low. Yeah, ES took that low right there. So we have SMT with ES right at 8:30 news. And 8:30 news, we just get expansion straight to buy side. Now we're just waiting. We're waiting for market open because we have PPI. We want to wait for more information, for more data. And then right here, we end up having a displacement move through this high right at 9:30. We open up into this order block right here. These are the equal lows he was talking about that we never repriced to, and we use this order block here and this imbalance right there instead of looking for these lows. Bullish order flow, come back down to that constant encroachment level of this imbalance right there. Then we come up into the daily closure, into that closure of the daily, or this, I'm pretty sure this is the weekly. This is the weekly best SIBI that we close right here, and then we kind of consolidate. He never. I wish he talked about this new day opening gap right here. Then we come back down and we consolidate right above a new day opening gap. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We have this buy side imbalance he was talking about that we constantly refer to. Then we have a fake move here, a manipulation move. Oh, we could be running these equal lows, or we're just coming back down into a bullish institutional order flow. He's talking about the price continuum theory here, and although he had kind of a loose bias here, there is no like clear manipulation here in my opinion. Like, we don't have a fair value gap in, fair value gap out situation here. So and as well as that, like, if we're just looking at the overall momentum of this, like this is a pretty fast move up. This is like how I like to look at things. Like, this is a kind of fast move up here, especially if we're hanging around this much time here, if we're gonna immediately reject, it'll probably be a more fast manipulation move. At least those are the manipulation moves I've seen, and then to have a sell model here. But we kind of had a fast repricing higher, and then we're just consolidating. We're likely going to continue into the current order flow that we're in, and as you can see, it's exactly what ended up happening. We're within this current order flow. We have fair value gap in, displacement. We almost touched this right here. We don't come back into this area because it's a balanced price range. That's why we don't come into this. And we have displacement higher. This got messed up. Then this is the 1050 macro. He went over. We don't come back into this high, which honestly, I thought that we could have, but we just use this imbalance right here. This is the institutional order flow entry drill. He goes over, and he also goes over these 3 down close candles right here. It's what we refer to within the macro, 1050 macro. These are like some 5-second annotations. And then here, this is kind of ugly PA in my opinion. I like just consolidating into this new day opening gap right here. We come up, new day opening gap, new day opening gap. We kind of patty cake between those. Then we come up, and look what we do. We use this new day opening gap as support. Here's another macro, us referring to an order block within the macro coming up, pricing a buy side liquidity there. And throughout the rest of the day, there really isn't much that I like at all. We have a new week opening gap up here, and kind of just not very clean price action in my opinion. Market on closed macro, we end up having a 2022 model here. And that's all I see here. And then we also took these lows right there. We have a stop hunt before repricing higher. I wanna zoom into like the 15-second. Is there a 15-second fair value gap here? Yep. After that stop hunt, I'm pretty sure that's like Cameron's model. I'm pretty sure Cameron has a model where it's a 60-minute highs, and you're looking for a 1 minute or 5 minute stop hunt, and then a 15 or 30-second fair value gap. As you see right there, that would have been his model. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I haven't studied that, but I've heard it in some Twitter spaces. So overall, today, in my opinion, was just us pricing in a premium. Notice how like just relentless, just one-sided move right here. Everyone's or people might be trying to short this. I can guarantee you. Now we have trend line here. Oh, market's bullish now. We have CPI tomorrow. I'm very curious to see what we do tomorrow for CPI. I'm not going to try to predict for sure, of course. But if we just look at where we're at, we have all of this here. We have all of this here. I do like this imbalance, which I think that's very aggressive. And I honestly don't expect that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm noting this imbalance here, and also this imbalance right here, and these sides right there. And obviously we have a real liquidity void right there. So I think this could be the draw on liquidity for long-term bias, in my opinion. This whole liquidity void, but I'm not gonna try to get myself caught up into draws on liquidity on the higher time frame. All right, and then I don't know if I really want to go over anything in this little journal video. Oh yeah, we want to go in the lower time frame. My bad. And now I'm gonna hop in the 5-second time frame. Let's even look at this in the 5-second. This actually is a decent market on closed macro. We end up repricing these equal highs. Again, yesterday we left equal highs here. Now we have equal highs here again during the final hour macro. Coming down, stop hunt, inversion right there, and then boom, we seek buy side. Straight repricing. Let's look and go on the. I'm gonna go on the 15-second. 5 seconds kind of crazy. So let's look at market open. Also want to look at regular trading hours. We definitely had a gap higher. And if we look at regular trading hours, like we just go straight from this. We don't even return to this gap here. So for tomorrow's trading, I think it's more probable. We gotta see what happens to CPI, but I think we could see this gap here. PPI, we end up expanding. Oh, and also we had a real liquidity void here as well on the 1 minute chart right there. 9:30 opens right here. Come up to that, come down to that order block. We come up, close that imbalance right there, come back down to this fair value gap right here, this balanced price range right there. We take this low, displacement, fair value gap in, fair value gap out, and we end up seeking here. This is the 950 macro. This was a 5-second inversion, but it's a 15-second inversion as well. Buy side taken, shifted market structure, and we don't have a fair value gap here at all. But we end up coming back down to this low here. We end up creating relative equal lows there, creating sell side interest. Then we're just consolidating, and then we have manipulation lower. That was the stop hunt here. Fair value gap in, fair value gap out. What is this? Right here, market structure shift there, that fair value gap. Then we have another imbalance here within that original fair value gap right there. Reclaimed fair value gap. Look at the bodies right there on that reclaimed fair value gap. Then we see displacement, and then we have this imbalance right here. Notice all the time we mark within here, and we displace higher. 1050 macro here. This BISI gets referred to again here. Stop hunt, fair value gap, and then again we reprice lower. We have an inversion fair value gap on the 5-second, on the 15 seconds right here. Boom, we seek buy side right there, and then there really isn't anything else I want to go over. Maybe was this the 12? Oh, this was the 1150. This was a 5-second fair value gap. Come back lower. This was a 5-second fair value gap too. 15-second right there. And yeah, overall, today was a before CPI. Let's look at what else do we have this week. I'm just gonna use this indicator. We just have core retail sales, and then UBS economic expectations on Thursday. So we don't have any red folder news on Friday. So I just want to see what Wednesday's going to do, and I don't care to predict that. But anyways, hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in tomorrow for another mentorship journal.